Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kari and today I will tell you all about Lost. This video is very important for me because Lost is my favorite TV show and I've been wanting to film this for years. Now I think it's a perfect chance because the documentary about Lost is coming out very soon, celebrating 20 years of its pilot. Lost not only changed television, it also changed the way that I see storytelling and how I view TV shows. Lost is a brilliant show with great characters, a good mystery, and an amazing cast. And today I want to talk about all of that with you. I will divide this video into sections and I will leave that in the description below. But essentially I will say why I think Lost is a great TV show, the impact it had on the fandom, on society, on other shows, the mystery, the characters, the cast, everything about it. If you enjoy content like this, please subscribe to the channel. I upload videos about movies, TV shows, and books. And now let's start talking about Lost. First, I thought I would tell you what this show is about. We follow the survivors of a plane crash in a deserted island, what led them to take the plane in the first place and how they survived there, hoping to be rescued. But the story evolves to a more complex plot about fate versus logic and free will versus destiny. It is a drama with sci-fi and fantasy elements that always keep the mystery going. And the premise of this show is about survival, but in reality, Lost is so much more than that. For the time it came out, Lost was great at using the flashbacks. It used the flashbacks to tell the story of what happened to our protagonists before the plane crash, and then the present was after the plane crash on the island. Nowadays, flashbacks are more common. A lot of TV shows have flashbacks, but I don't think that was the case in 2004. And each episode we follow a different character. The story keeps progressing at the same time as we explore the flashback, the life of a specific character, and we see how what was going on in their lives now has an impact on what they're living on the island. It is fascinating how you get to know these characters, but still the mystery is growing and the overall plot for each season is very well crafted. And Lost not only used flashbacks, it also used flash forwards and flash sideways. And if you're not familiar with these terms, I don't want to over-explain it because that will include spoilers, but those were also brilliantly used. I think it is amazing how they use this narrative, this type of storytelling. And not all seasons are perfect, but the story as a whole remains one of the best creative works in television. I love how every season had its own arc that opened and answered questions in the same season, but the overall plot and the mystery remain intriguing until the very last episode of the show. I just think this originality on the storytelling is what impacted people more, what made people want to keep watching week after week, and what made Lost what it is today. Lost has a big and diverse cast that not only show compelling fictional stories, but it also introduced great actors to fill in these roles. I know not all the actors are well recognized or very famous right now, although some of them are, but they weren't very well known at the time, and then they made a name for themselves with this show. I saw an interview with Evangeline Lilly. I love her, by the way, and she said that people still recognize her as Kate from Lost. It was great how they casted people who weren't very well-known actors, so you got to know these actors from these roles that at the end were very important. And most of the actors of the show, what I've seen from them, they are grateful that they worked in Lost. Now, the storylines in the show for the characters work so well because the characters grow together. There's a lot of character development. I love to see the bad guy's redemption and the non-believer become a man of faith. The cast made the show better with the acting because the characters are the main aspect of the show. They needed good actors for this because this story is a character-driven story. Even though the mystery is there, even though the plot is very important, at the end end of the day, it is about what they learn from each other and the connections they make, how they grow together. That is what makes this story richer and worthwhile. One great thing I like about this and how they are all connected is the details that they add on the show, and you might miss some of this if you're not paying attention. Some side characters from one of the plots can be the same in another person's storyline. I just love how it is all connected. If you have watched the show, you know what I'm talking about and you know it's great. And it's not that it's a big detail, but you will notice it, and that makes just the story better. They know how to use the music to make a scene from the show so much better. The music elevates the moment to a greater level of meaning, because now when you listen to that melody, you are transported to that scene. It's a similar thing to what happens when you hear Hedwig's theme and you instantly think about Harry Potter. Same thing with Lost. And I have one song that I'm gonna put right here on the screen that I cry when I listen to that. It's just very emotional, a very powerful song. It's like a bittersweet feeling with this song. I just love how the music really makes this show better, and each character has its own song. The song changes slightly depending on what the character is going through. And I don't know how to explain this better because I don't know a lot about music, but you know that it is a specific song from this character. The ones that I remember the most are Jean and Sons, because they share a song and it's very beautiful. Also Kate's song, Locks. And Ben's, those are the ones that I remember the most, but I just love how the soundtrack goes with the story and with the characters, and it changes with them. In general, the creation of the music for the show was special and very peculiar.
This is called a flapamba, you know, and no, I never knew what a flapamba was before Lost either. Isn't that cool? It's a great, like, eerie sound, you know? This is an actual piece of the crashed airplane.
But all the time the music helps the narrative. It works to create tension, excitement, and emotion. You will remember the music from this TV show. Even the music from the credits after each episode, I think that one is amazing too. Yes, Lost is very well known by its divisive ending. The ending made the people either hate the show or love the show. And that's something that people still talk about to this day. Some fans might have left the show after season 4 because yes, it gets more complicated, the plot thickens. And personally, it's something that I like a lot. Season 4, 5, and 6 are my favorite seasons, but honestly, I love all the show. And it is sad that a lot of people stopped watching, but the people who stayed until the very end were either very disappointed or satisfied by the ending. As you can probably tell, I am very satisfied with the ending. I love the ending. For me, it makes so much sense, and I will explain why. People wanted answers, and we certainly get some answers with the ending, but not all of them. Not every single detail is explained. But for me, the point of the show was not that. As I said, it is a character-driven story, and although the plot and the mystery is so good and so interesting, the themes of the show and what it wanted to tell are there in the ending, and that's why I think it makes so much sense. Because for me, that's what Lost has always been about. Now, the ending that a lot of people hated, and the reason why they think they were dead the whole time, is because after the show ends, on the credits they show footage of the plane crash. The empty beach, the plane there, no one else there, and people just thought that with that the creators wanted to let you know that nothing was real and that they just died in the plane crash. Which is upsetting. Of course I would be mad if that was the case, but that is not the case. That is not what really happens, and even the creators have said it on interviews. If you watch the last episode of the show, you know that that is not true, but people keep on hating on it. They simply misunderstood the ending and have created so much hatred over something that it's not true. The real ending, which I'm not gonna talk about in detail because that's a spoiler, is very good. In my opinion, it was the perfect ending for the show, for what it wanted to tell, and I'm just very happy about it. But still, the fandom made Lost what it is right now. The fact that it's still talked about and discussed by people. I'm very excited because I think it will be a little more popular now that it's available on Netflix in the US and in Mexico. I don't know about other countries, but you can check and just watch. And with the documentary coming, I'm just very excited about the fandom. Even though the ending gets so much hate and the show also gets a little bit of hate, I think you should watch and say for yourself if you like it or not. One of the most impressive things about Lost, in my opinion, is how it maintains the mystery even upon rewatching. The first time you watch, you're always wondering what is going on, what is going to happen. You have so many questions and not a lot of answers. And one thing that they do very well with this show is that they show you enough things for you to make a conclusion. And that conclusion is nothing like what actually happens next. They give you all these clues, that being dialogue, visual clues, enough to make you think something and then it goes on the other direction. And that is one thing that leads to the plot twist. This show is amazing with the plot twist. And of course, I won't tell you about this because that would be a spoiler. But when you watch it, when it happens, you will see, you will feel so dumb, but in the best way, because the TV show tricked you. The thing that you never thought would happen. You couldn't predict it. And it was there in plain sight the whole time. I think one of the plot twists from the show, it is on the list of the best plot twists ever in television or movies, I am completely sure. And if you have watched it, then you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. To keep up with that mystery, Lost is a great TV show to binge watch. I cannot imagine watching it when it came out. Waiting weeks for answers must have been so difficult, and that's why a lot of people had like theories and forums, and I feel that's what made it what it was, that it was very confusing. People were talking about it, they had to wait for months for the full season to come out, and now you don't have to go through all of that, you just have to binge watch it. That way you can connect some points, you can remember details, the mystery's pace is fast, and in that way is one of the best shows to binge watch. And even with the tones of sci-fi and fantasy that this show has, the main genre of the show is mystery, because the master of storytelling from the show is in its mystery. But yeah, the other elements complement the show so well. And rewatching the show is also a great experience, not because you don't know what's going on and you're always wondering and having questions. No, the show still keeps you engaged, like you still want to watch till the very end. I love to rewatch this show, and I'm not gonna say it is perfect. There are bad episodes, and I'm not gonna say which one, but if you're a fan, you know which one I'm talking about. Yep, that one. But honestly, that's the only episode that I finished watching, and I just cannot tell you what happened because it was so irrelevant for me. But that's one episode out of more than 100 episodes. So I think this show and its mystery is worth your time. Saying that Lost is still relevant can be good and bad because, as I told you, people hate on it a lot. But also there's a lot of people who love it. The fandom's still big and is still going on till this day. But for me, one thing that is very cool about Lost is how it inspired other projects. I have examples here of TV shows that I will tell you. The 100, Manifest, Yellow Jackets, Once Upon a Time, Dark, The Wilds, Heroes, just to name a few. I will also leave a link in the description below with a list of more TV shows that are similar to Lost. And it doesn't mean that these shows have all the aspects from Lost, but they have some of them. The best example that I have is Once Upon a Time and how it uses flashbacks. It works on two storylines, the flashbacks and the present, just like Lost. Also, Yellow Jackets has all the elements of the plane crash and the survival, and it also uses flashbacks like this. The 100 has a lot of similar, more specific moments or character arcs that I think are very similar. What I want to say with all of this is that, in my opinion, the best review that a TV show can have is more media being created that is heavily inspired on something that this show accomplished or was groundbreaking at. And Lost certainly has that. All of these shows have something similar to it, and many others on the list that I will leave in the description. And I just think that is great. That is the best review. Well, this is what I wanted to say about Lost, but I can talk for hours, more hours about this show. I just don't want to say any spoilers, otherwise I would tell you about my favorite characters and plots and plot twists. But really, if you haven't watched Lost, you're missing out. I do think that this is a must watch and essential if you are a fan of either mystery, sci-fi, drama, survival. I cannot recommend it enough. I really just love this show so much. Also, this is my second video essay on my channel. In case you're wondering, my first one is about Little Women, and I just love my video essays. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and share it with friends. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I upload videos about movies, TV shows, and books. You can subscribe right here and you can watch more of my videos right here. If you're still watching the video now, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.